cream of broccoli soup with that. So, and I bought fresh broccoli. It's always good to use fresh broccoli. Okay, and don't, I mean, you can take a shortcut and buy frozen, but it's always better for fresh. And some people are a little intimidated with dealing with fresh because they might not really know what to do with fresh broccoli. So all you have to do is, once you get the broccoli heads, is just trim it off of all of the little stems, all of those little, you know, little stems there, like growing out of there. I mean, this is just how I do mine. Okay, so, and if you want to make nice florets, you just cut them like that. Cut them, and then you're going to get to the little stems. You'll be able to see them. You just trim them off. You don't want that. Just, that's all you do. Yeah, I mean, of course, you're going to have maybe one or two little stems. You don't have to be nitpicky, but any coloration that you might see, cut that off. That doesn't look good either. Okay. So, now we're going to save some of this because we want some of this in the soup, and we want to use some of this as garnish. You know, just on the top. Once you finish your soup, you always have to have garnish. That's why you go to the restaurant. You pay for all the frills when you can really do it at home. Like I said, 5-quart. Okay. So I have a lot of this to cut up. Then I'm gonna put it in my strainer after I discard all of my bones and get it ready for the soup. And I have now, what's gonna go in the soup is onions, pretty much onions, broccoli, and the chicken broth. And then we're gonna have I have some silk because I'm trying to make it not so heavy, but I need some milk to give it that creamy consistency. It just doesn't have it if you don't put any milk in there. So I'm going to use silk. Okay, now we're going to saute the onions because I'm going to make the broccoli soup. Let me let that melt some.
What's that in there that you're melting?
Butter. Just butter. Can't believe it's not butter. Okay, then now I have one onion that I cut up very fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do though there, translucent, kind of soft, and then we're going to add flour. This is called a roux. I'm going to make a roux. Okay, once my onions sweat a little, then we're going to add the flour. Should really do equal parts, which means the amount of butter that you put in there, you should put the same amount of flour. But I like to make mine a little thick, because then we're going to add the chicken stock over here to it, and then I will add the broccoli. So this broccoli here, this broccoli here is what we're going to save for our garnish. So I cut off all of the larger parts and just had most of the floret here. It's at the top. So I'm going to cook that in a separate pot because that's going to keep it nice and green. So I'm going to cook that in a salted pot of boiling water. Going to blanch it real quick, and that'll be put this in the end. Finish up the soup. Now onions are starting to cook. All right, so we blend this to brown. Just want them softened. Let it cook some. Okay, now I'm going to add the flour. And let's see, that's probably, see, I like to make a little thick. This is going to be the roux here. This is your thickener. All of the butter should should soak into the flour. Okay, until you see no more white. As you see, you got nice little pebbles right there. Your onion is in there. You can always take it off the fire, but you got nice little lumps. You don't want any stray flour in there. Okay, now I'm gonna add my chicken stock. That's just so much there. It's gonna thicken. So you do the whisk. Then you're gonna get your lumps. When you need a whisk, break that up. It thickens, and you're gonna add more stock. Let that simmer a little, and then once it cooks some, then I'm gonna add the broccoli. Okay, now I'm gonna add. Let me check the thickness of the broccoli. Soft here. All of my stock. Okay, and I'm gonna add the broccoli, and it's gonna cook. So the broccoli is done. And I'm going to save some of this broccoli. I'm going to cook it along with the part that I'm going to have for my garnish, because that's going to keep the soup nice and green. So when I puree it in the end, well, not my florets, but when I puree this part that I'm holding here to the side, then that will add to the soup and have some nice little chunks in there. But I'm going to cook this, as we'll see a little later. Okay? All right. Okay, we're going to just blanch the garnishes. This, when you spoon up a nice big ladle of soup, you'll get some nice broccoli chunks in the midst. So we'll let that cook some. Okay, now the broccoli is soft, so this is good. So, because I don't want the flavor, I don't want all of the color to cook out of the broccoli. So, what I'm going to do, okay, now that I figured out how to tap on my food processor here. Okay. This is good. So all it does is just chops it up. Okay, now see the finished product? Yeah, see, it's just a thickener. Just make a nice taste of the broccoli. Okay, put that back in our pot here. Okay, and of course we will need to add more stock to that. That's why I had a total of 4 quarts. So this is what we're going to add back. We're going to put this back on the fire. I'm going to cook the rest of my broccoli there. And put that into the soup. I'm going to puree, well, no, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to cook. Okay, I'm stirring my soup here, is thickening up, and I'm going to steam. Remember what I'm saying as far as my broccoli. I'm just going to cover that, let that steam. Then I'm going to just add that to that. And I have a bowl, another white bowl like this, so I was adjusting my seasoning. That I'm going to add to the soup. So it should finish with making cream of broccoli. I'm going to see if it's going to give it that creamy feel. So I have that heating up, letting that cook. So all I did was just spoon some here and played with the seasoning. That's all. this is where you would add all the extra spices. If you wanted to see if it would taste like a different taste, you would add another seasoning in there. Okay, so let's see, I'm waiting for my broccoli to get done. Okay, that should be good. Okay, now we're going to add this to the soup. So that can finish cooking in there. Okay, see everything. Okay, we're going to let that cook a little more. I'm going to test the seasoning and make sure that it's to the point that I'm satisfied with it. Okay, so this is, you just had the basis, how to bring the soup all together from the stock. And now as far as the seasoning, like I said, I just put seasoning salt and some ground black pepper and a little bit of cumin in there. Not very much of the cumin. You don't want it to have that taste. You just want to add a little extra, something that you can't really tell what flavor that is, but it's adding something to the soup. Okay, so let me see. And that's turning out very nicely. And also I added the silk light to the soup, and that gave it a nice subtle sweetness. That's why I did light, because silk tends to have a little sweet taste to it. So yeah, this is a good soup. And we have nice chunks of broccoli in there. So I really don't, my garnish is going to be, well, you can just top that off, but in the end, the garnish is going to be pretty much within the soup. Some people like to have nice bites of broccoli in the soup. So we're going to let the flavors cook throughout for just a few minutes more. Okay, the soup has come to a nice thickness now. And we let these the little pieces of broccoli cook in there. Now, remember I was saving part of this for my garnish, but I'm going to add a little more in there. Just to, that's a bit much. Okay, so this is cooked, fully cooked. Okay, so now I'm gonna ladle us up some soup. Okay, and we'll add us some our little garnishes. Have our plated soup here. Add a little garnish there. And okay,